Beware of fraudsters when looking into owning or buying land in Uganda or any form of real estate or any form of real property in Uganda. You have to be careful. There are very many fraudsters on the market. So today I'm sharing tips on how to own land in Uganda. Hi guys, welcome back. Zuria Nagajakarma here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so happy that you're here today. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm happy to have you. So today I'm sharing just a few steps that will help you own property and own land in Uganda. You have to know that there are very many people on this market, especially right now that the economy is not so good. Very many people are looking to get a quick payday, so you have to be very careful if you want to hold, if you want to buy a piece of land in Uganda. And this has come up because many people have been asking me what they should do. Should they buy land now? Should they wait a little bit? I've had a few friends of mine who are out of the country that are looking to invest in land and real property in Uganda. So I decided to do a video sharing a few steps that you have to go through, and if you follow these steps, chances are very high that you will not be duped, that you will own land in Uganda. So let's get right into it. Important to note is that any Ugandan can buy land. Anyone in Uganda can buy land in all the different forms that the law provides for. There are 4 types of land provided for in Uganda. It's either Milo land, customary land, freehold land, and leasehold land. I don't want to get into the details of that right now. I don't think that's really important. But what may be important to note at this point is that if you're not Ugandan, the only form of land that you can hold is leasehold. So you can basically get a lease of whatever number of years, 49, 99, some go 20, whichever years that you may agree with the landowner to give you. That is for people who are not in Uganda. And for those who've been asking, those who've been wondering how to get into owning land, holding land in Uganda, here are the steps. But first, and very important and really key, you have to know that you have to carry out due diligence. Due diligence is very important. There are very many fraudsters on the market, so you have to be careful about that. First step is to identify the piece of land that you want to buy, to identify where exactly this property is located. So first of all, I'd recommend that you maybe go online, look for property agencies, look at different sites. There are individuals who are selling. You could look at OLX. There are people who are selling on Facebook. So identify the piece of land that you want. My personal recommendation would be to look for a property agent. Find an agent because they're either brokers, certified brokers for particular pieces of land, or they own this land by themselves and they can take you to different places. So you have to be careful. You have to know that the agent you're looking out for is certified. The agent you're looking out for is not a fraud. And sometimes just a simple check, just a simple background check, just a simple check at the register of companies, at the, just even on Google, on Facebook. If someone has a bad reputation, chances are high that someone has written about it. So you have to be careful about those ones. So the very first step is identify the piece of land, and I'd recommend that you go through a property agent, or if you know an individual who is selling, then you can go ahead and contact them about this piece of land. Step number 2 is inspecting. Is site inspection. So you have to, after contacting the agent or the seller, then it's important for you to go and see where this land is located, to go and see the dimensions of this land, to go and get to know who your neighbors are or who your future neighbors are going to be, to go and get information from the local leaders, the local council leaders. That's really important. You have to speak to the local council leaders, because if anything goes wrong, if anything goes sideways at the end of this all, it's these local council leaders that are going to come to your rescue in court and all these processes. So it's very important that you speak to the local council leaders. So this site inspection is going to allow you to know who your neighbors are, to know the demarcations of this property, to know who the local leaders are, and this will give you a chance to go back by your own without the seller. This I have to repeat. You need to carry out your due diligence without the seller, because chances are high that if you ask all these questions in the presence of the seller, people might not be comfortable telling you what exactly is going on with that particular piece of land, the local council leaders might not be comfortable telling you in the presence of the seller because he's in that area really. So I recommend that you, after you site visit with the seller, then go back by yourself, go back on your own, speak to the different neighbors, speak to the local council leaders, and carry out your due diligence so that you know if this land is good to buy, if this land doesn't have any wrangles, it doesn't have any encumbrances that are known of by the neighbors. So step number 3 would be to engage a valuer. They're certified valuers. Engage someone who can help you know the price of this land. I don't encourage anyone getting into buying land of the value that the seller has told you. They're looking to get the highest price that they can get. But if you get the proper valuation, the current valuation of the land, then it's easy for you to negotiate, to know, have bargaining power with this person or this agency that you're buying this property from. So engage a valuer so that you know exactly how much this land would be at, how much this land costs, what the current market value of this land is, and this is going to assist you to know if you should buy it and at what particular price, at what price that you should get this land. Step number 4 is to carry out a survey on this land. You have to engage a professional surveyor, or they're certified, they're registered surveyors. So you find one of these to help you open the boundaries of this land, especially if the land is not titled, or the land does not have a certificate of title. It's important for you to get a surveyor who is going to, first of all, match what is on the print, on the certificate of title, to what is exactly on the land. This will allow you to know the proper demarcations of the land. It will allow you to know where the mark stones are located. It's basically going to help you to put what exactly is on paper and match it with what is on the ground. So a surveyor is a very, very important person in this process, and surveyors usually help you to carry out a search on the land. They could help with that process as well. Final step, and step number 5, is to engage a lawyer. I definitely encourage you not to buy any land without engaging a lawyer or engaging an advocate. Here's what they're going to help you. There are definitely lots of rights that are engaged in this transaction. So you need someone who knows exactly how to protect your rights before you write out any agreement or any contract with whoever you intend to buy this land from. So engage a lawyer. And at this point, I would really, really encourage that before any money is exchanged, the lawyer carries out a search on this property, an independent search, independent from whatever your surveyor did, independent. Make sure your lawyer carries out a search, a current search on the title before you buy this land. So I encourage you to find a lawyer. There are quite many brilliant lawyers in this country. Just find one and they'll help you draft out an agreement and lay out your rights properly in this contract or this agreement. Some things are important as this agreement is being drafted. You need to have the national IDs of the sellers, the identification documents of the sellers. You need to have the duplicate certificate of title. This is very, very important because it's definitely going to exchange hands as soon as you pay this person. You need to have transfer forms that are going to allow this land to transfer from the person in whom it's registered into you who is buying. Then it's important to have a letter from the local council leaders, a letter basically recommending or letting you know what the current status of this land is. And then finally, a current search report to show the current status of the land as at when you're drafting this agreement. Guys, that's it. I hope this will be very helpful. I hope it will help those who've been asking questions. I hope it will help my friends or people who've been asking me from out of the country, how can they get into the real estate space, how they can get into buying property and buying land in Uganda. It's not a very hard process. The most important thing for you to do is to carry out your due diligence. So for me today, bye-bye.